guys, welcome back to D&D with Filthy and Friends. Quick recap of last episode. We have managed to be in town for out of game time period of over an hour without killing anyone. Thaddeus tried to Heart of Darkness the innkeeper, but he was reeled in at the last moment. So, so far, the rat. Fuck. Right. Anyone, that's still fine. It's just a rat. Yeah. There's been a casualty, but it's been a minor casualty. Hopefully.
We also shot a tree twice. That can't be healthy for the tree.
That's fine. So we're gonna pick up from there. We've just had an interesting conversation with both the innkeeper and the guard captain. Seems to be some animosity there. Not really clear what's going on there. And we've agreed to head down to Waterdeep on behalf of the innkeeper to settle some of our business and also settle some of his business. So where are we going, Adam?
That's up to you.
Well, we wander back. It's been probably about an
hour.
You're
still kind of in conversation, I think. But
okay.
have you kind of just finished now?
Oh, we can finish that up.
I think we're finished, and you guys, you can see Dolphidius.
Well,
and,
we're not quite done
Bereatim
because there's that issue of payment.
Right. So,
I'd like to suggest we donate that. I don't think back to the town or to the
Something was funny.
We've certainly made enough money through the slaying of these fiends.
Thaddeus, I will handle the social interactions. Don't you worry.
Right.
What does our guard captain say about the reward on these?
As you guys have been sort of talking, she's been sort of walking you away from. As Dolphin and Tim arrive, she can see that the rest of your party's coming. So she sort of like beckons you and sort of walks you towards the building that's been designated as her guardhouse. Mm-hmm. And you guys have been having this conversation as you've been walking, and then you get into the guardhouse, and she sort of goes over to one of her sort of storage areas and pulls out a bag and says, "So in terms of reward, for adventurers like you, this may be quite meager, but I can offer you these 500 gold pieces, which was the offer given to anyone to slow the bandits and even stop the bandits. The original reward was 300. The bonus was for, completely solving our problem. So I will straight up give it to you, as adventurers, and you may take it as you wish."
Chalaska, thank you very much for that. I just wanted to also let it be known that we stand by our word, and if there, for some reason, these bandits are not fully wiped out, and they should be, but if they are not, please find us or get word to us, and we will be happy to finish the job if it is indeed unfinished.
Oh, absolutely.
And when he says happily, he means with a great deal of enthusiasm and joy.
Yes, Thaddeus. I think she is beginning to see your bloodlust, and we'd be happy to solve any similar problems like this. So please let us know. And
it's love for Moradin, you fool.
She just sort of looks at you two as you exchange this conversation. Are these guys friends?
I see her look, and I put an arm around Thaddeus, and I kind of, it's like I want to like noogie him, but
right.
It's not, he's a little tiny dwarf. He's about that height, but he's very, very stout. And I don't think he likes it when I put an arm around him. So I do it both as a show of camaraderie for her and also to irritate the fuck out of Thaddeus while I'm doing it. So I'll kind of drag him off with that note out of the area. But I just wanted to take a note where she kept that bag of money. Just in character. Yep. I was going to keep track of where that was, Thaddeus. Just so we know in future if we need to facilitate paying our own bounties when she's not around. So,
should I add that to the inventory now?
Yes, the 500 gold, absolutely.
Unless you are going to.
It's very convenient that she had 300 to 500 gold available for the reward. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Very.
Why is that convenient?
Because the innkeeper lost 300 to 500 gold and doesn't trust her. I'm just saying.
You know what? I totally didn't.
You know what? But from my perspective, problem
roll
solved.
insight on Adam, yeah.
Right, roll insight on Adam.
Yeah. All right. So we'll head back to the inn. It's probably been about an hour, right?
I guess sometimes when you make numbers up, they're the same numbers. I didn't say that. So yeah, so I guess we're looking at. So you guys have been out doing your ceremony. You did some talking. I guess we'll say it's like lunchtime.
Okay. Well, I just wanted an hour at least to pass because I want to go back to the inn and see if they've got our contract available.
Sure. So you get back to the inn. You find what's his name? Naliska.
Yeah.
Naliska. And he's like, you come up to him. He's like, okay, so I've prepared a contract for you. All you need to do is go to the trade district and negotiate that we need 1 shipment of this while I find out what's happened with Yatar. Perhaps I might need more than 1 shipment. You may... And he sort of looks quizzically. Yeah, in fact, maybe you might want to let them know I may need more than 1 shipment if I don't find out the problem with Yatar immediately. But yes, that should do. That should do. And he passes this. It's like a wrapped up scroll, and it's got a seal on it and a wrap on it around.
So we're not establishing a trade route. We're going shopping.
Well, the trade route's already established, Thaddeus. It's just we haven't used that route for a long time because Yatar has served our needs, and Waterdeep knows that. The City of Splendor does not need to supply small villages as we, but perhaps they will this time.
When he told me the place that you said the trade district to do this, did he give me a specific name of a person there? I don't need it this instant if he did, but I just want to know, no. Did he? He did not.
He just kind of like,
go to the trade district.
Yeah, Waterdeep is so large that there's probably there's multiple places you could probably go to negotiate what he needs for this contract. This is sort of knowledge that you guys just know that Waterdeep's quite
sure. No, I was more
big.
interested on the.
For him, it's not like as if he's got like a specific contact in mind. He just needs help.
Yeah, no, that's what I was asking specifically for, because I was wondering if there was an intrigue element to that. I wanted to know basically who he was sending this to, if it was a person or it's just go to anyone. Okay.
Sure.
All right. So we'll gather everyone up. Do we want to hire a sailor from somewhere? Do we have someone in mind? Maybe we can ask around as we're back in the house. We can maybe ask the innkeeper, but also you said some of the people we had rescued are now working here. Can we ask some of them if anyone has, growing up on these river towns, anyone has sailing experience, but more importantly, like sailing larger vessels than the stuff they're normally sailing around this area?
Okay.
Why don't we look for someone that is the best at that job rather than someone who has done that in the past?
So when I hear him say that, I kind of think and I realize that it seems like we have a lot of gold, but most of that gold is spoken for, which I think leaves us with, 16 gold? That's unspoken for right now before we go shopping?
We just made 500.
You just made 500.
Oh, we just made 500. Okay, I didn't know if that was going to be...
That's in addition to what we've already spent, yeah.
Okay, got it, yeah.
So...
We can afford
it. What's Tim doing? You're there too, Steve?
Yeah. Tim's just hanging.
All right. So,
now.
you guys could do that. If you're going to collectively move as a party to look for someone to do that, then whoever is proficient in investigation or
oh god.
I know all about the fishermen on this river. It's just the same as all the other rivers I've ever been on. If you want to find the fisherman, you'll look in the bar. And then Tim realizes he's already standing in the bar. And then he rolls investigation.
And I'm going to roll guidance. I'm going to walk over to Tim. Lay a hand. It's an extra D4. Lay a hand on his shoulder.
24.
Straighten his collar a little bit. And send him over to start looking.
Wipe the river mud off him.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 seconds. I'm hoping.
So, is this a time for me to stand in the center of the bar and glare at people, or we're still holding that in reserve? We're still holding that in reserve for later.
You guys. So, you guys are sort of looking around, you're sort of traveling around the inn and maybe going around the town, talking to some, random commoners trying to sort of find out who's the best sailor around here, who's the best fisherman, who's gonna.
No, I don't want that.
Gonna...
I want the best teacher of sailing.
Oh, sorry, the best
fishing.
teacher. Yeah, sorry, the best teacher, or who can help you guys get familiar with your vessel.
Yeah.
And
we want to learn how to wield our weapon.
Every single person at the Barge Right Inn directs you to a group of 6 dwarves that you're very familiar with.
Is it worth it? Maybe we take the second best.
This is great news. I've missed Dobbin and Bobbin and Flabbin and Flap. No. I've
Bobbin, Dobbin, Fobbin, Lobbin, Sobbin, and Gobbin.
That was them.
They're the best?
Both in character and out of character, I'm curious about these dwarves.
They helped us across the river.
You can see that Dolphin has not watched the beginning of this series.
Well, yeah.
Of which I am mortally offended.
He might have watched it and just forgotten that part, honestly.
You didn't do the 20 episodes of research necessary to...
I guess not.
So yeah, they're known as like the best fishermen around. They're also known as the most effective eaters because their family, their ancestry is just the greatest dwarf fishermen in the Barge Right Inn.
Yeah, are they the only dwarves in the Barge Right Inn? Is it small enough that might be a thing?
Are the only 6 out of 7 dwarves currently in the Barge Right Inn.
And they all live together?
Yeah, they're like a family of brothers.
Huh. 6 brothers.
Gavin?
Yeah, but adult brothers often don't live together anymore.
Dabin.
Lavin.
You know that's normal in dwarf culture.
Lavin. What?
It's like Spartans?
Babbin, Dabbin, Fabbin, Labbin, Sabbin, and Gabbin.
Okay. Well, I mean, if we have to hire 6 of them because I just wanted 1. Why don't we approach them and see? All right, I'll approach them and.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, weirdly.
Is it better? Worse?
Yes, better, louder.
Louder. Gooder. I think
Gooder?
so.
Okay. Gooder.
Yeah, don't go with that one. That one's not the one we were looking for.
That's an American word. Right?
No, it's not. Wow, way louder.
Okay. So, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to go find your dwarven friends of old? Or do you want to suffer for second best?
Second.
I believe that the dwarves will guide us truly.
Thaddeus, they're going to be your responsibility if we go that route. They're your race.
I will take responsibilities for them also, and Moradin will guide us on our path.
Great. Make sure they're not too expensive for 6 of them, because we could hire 1 at the price of 1, as opposed to hiring 6 at the price of 6. So,
is it a package deal? Would they even allow for that? Would they refuse to just let one of them get hired?
You'll have to speak to them.
Alright, we'll go speak to them.
I guess what I'm saying is we can't assume that it's just going to be one of them.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm worried about. Yeah. That's why I might want to go with the second best.
Oh, okay. We can see their offer, you know.
Yeah.
Roll investigation. See if you can find them.
6 dwarves who always travel. Fucking Tim.
They're very short.
Does no one else have investigation?
No.
Very short.
Okay. So you spend the next hour walking around town, speaking to everybody, asking where they are, and everyone's like...
To clarify, I'm speaking to everyone and asking where they are. The other members of the party are just walking around doing literally nothing.
Thaddeus, Chakolth, and Dolphidius follow Bereatim around town as Tim
walks up a lot, not doing nothing.
Basically, almost random commoners and goes,
"Are you?
Do you know where the dwarves are? We're looking for these." And in Tim's voice, we're looking for these fishermen. You know, if you found them, and it takes you about an hour to learn that they're out fishing. On the riverbank.
Do you mean PM?
Yeah.
Yes, that should probably be PM. It wasn't that long.
Sorry, we moved forward.
Okay.
1 hour.
Well.
All right. Let's take our boat and go find them, and we can demonstrate our skills with the boat so far, so they'll know where to pick up from, you know, in teaching us.
That has the ring of truth to it.
think we're just as likely to die and drift downriver as find them, though.
Well, no, I think there's a much more likely alternative, which is we end up killing all 6 of them with our boat, and therefore we don't have to hire them.
Or killing only 5 of them, and we can hire the remaining 1.
Seems reasonable. Let's do it. It's a plan.
In a minute.
I think before we get in the boat, I think to offer to cast water walking, but I don't want to offend our captain.
If we have to go upriver, we might want to cast water walking and push it, honestly.
Yeah.
I really like that idea.
The information.
Yeah. In character, I hear you make that suggestion, and I kind of nod my head as if that thought had just never occurred to me, and that it was kind of a brilliant idea.
Can we do that?
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Why don't we just cast water walking on a mule and drag our ship north every time?
Oh my god, our horses. This is where we blindfold. We'll tug it like a chariot.
Which again, that begs the question: can a horse be a willing creature in terms of casting a target?
No, this is where magic comes in. We will create illusions for the horses, so that they don't know they're in water. They're simple creatures.
This will be the best ship motion ever.
Perfect. Let's do
People will speak of our ship for leagues.
Okay, I suggest that this is
the pointy
something...
bit. That's what the pointy bit is on the front. That's the bit that runs up between the team of horses that you lash them to, right?
Exactly. And I stand at the wheel with a whip.
All right, I make a mental note of this. I say, okay, this is a great idea. I think we should test this on a smaller scale first. We can do that now, or we can do that later. But I don't think
let's run
that rowing boat.
That is a comment of a smaller mind, Dolphidius.
Well, you start with the small mind, then you go to the large mind. It's a process.
Try. Okay, fair enough. Cast water walk on all of our horses right now, and I'll absolutely use that to pull a dinghy. Absolutely. 100%. Just go ahead and cast the spell.
So I'm going to use...
We are idiots.
I'm trying to think of in character whether or not... Can you roll persuasion?
To the horse?
No. I'm not sure I'm... I'm not persuaded. I'm not going to use my water walking. I say...
I turn to you and I say... I say to Dolphidius, I'm like, you don't know Tim. It's either water walking or the horses will drown.
Yeah.
Absolutely where I was going next. Absolutely.
I think I'm going to just go sit on the boat and wait while you solve this.
Get the ropes ready, Thaddeus.
I call the bluff. I don't cast water walking.
Oh, fuck.
I'm not persuaded. I'm not persuaded at all.
Can I roll for persuasion? Because I am not trying to convince you it's a good idea. I'm trying to convince you Tim will likely kill our horses if they're not water walking right now.
Yeah, you can roll persuasion on that if you want.
Don't do that then. Oh, it's much better.
12. I'm not persuaded. I think that you make a good point, but I don't think that anybody would be that inhumane to kill a group of horses simply because I'm not willing to cast water walking on them. I've never met anybody in terms of a party companion traveler that would be so black-hearted as to do that.
Not to mention they're likely to swim.
I will walk through the horses and select the one I deem to be most powerful and noble. And I will place my forehead against its forehead and hold seance with it for a moment.
Get your hands off my horse. You might be a Moradin lover, but you cannot.
Quiet, Thaddeus. I am at peace with our god.
You can roll animal handling as you touch Thaddeus's horse.
He handles your horse like a pro. Like he's
I am going to saddle.
What are you trying to do?
How could Thaddeus's donkey possibly be the strongest horse that we have?
Because it has to carry Thaddeus.
No, I have summoned steed. I used summon steed.
Oh, this is a magical horse?
Yeah.
GG. All right. I am going to saddle the horse, and I want a rope tied to the saddle from the prow of the ship, the pointy bit at the front.
Okay.
So where the horse is where now?
And after maybe a minute or two of contemplation and stillness, I'm going to suddenly leap
I don't think he would
into
listen to him.
immense action. I'm going to whip the horse's rear and send it leaping off the pier into the water to begin dragging the horse,
picking the horse
dragging
and throwing it in the water.
boat upstream.
Is that what you said?
No, I'm riding it.
You're riding it into the water.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we are going to
A horse is not going to ride off the end of the pier.
the boat upstream.
I can communicate with my horse telepathically.
I know. There's no way that you're going to be able to. His horse is a magic horse bonded to him.
Drag the boat better, please.
So you calm the horse as you wrap the rope around it with the animal handling check, and you mount up upon the horse, and you go careening down the pier as if to move the horse to jump into the water essentially and get in front of the boat. And as you get to the end of the,
I order my horse to stop.
Even without Thaddeus's words, at the end of the pier, the horse just literally rears up and stops, and then it hears the telepathic command from Thaddeus to stop anyway, and it's absolutely happy to do that.
Grab the rope.
Okay.
To stop myself from falling into the water.
Yep. You take a slight dip, but you get your feet wet, and that's about it.
I will helpfully yell. Hold on.
I noticed that now Tim's feet match the color of his upper body due to having also gotten slightly cleaner.
I'm gonna yell to Tim that Tim, you have to model behavior for horses. They're not just gonna know.
Absolutely. I will untie the rope from the saddle and tie it around my own waist, and I am going to attempt to swim upriver, dragging the boat.
Okay.
Make
a strength check.
I tried to stop this. I just want to put that.
The task ahead of you seems most imperative, as if you must do it, and yet it seems unattainable in your current state. Meanwhile,
Tim, Meriden could help you.
And Thaddeus both sort of remember from the conversation that they were told that these dwarves were fishing, so they're probably just stood at the end of a pier fishing, not up the pier where you might need a boat.
We assumed they'd be where we found them fishing last time.
Indeed, Tim did assume that, and you two have just remembered that that's probably not accurate.
I don't tell Tim.
That's fine.
All right. But I do go head over to talk to them. I'll say, Tim, keep at it. Once you get a little progress, I'll meet up and jump aboard. But I want to see some forward motion before I do that. I think you can do it if you just work at it.
On my way, Chakolth. Have any of the horses as kindred spirits to myself jumped into the water to help me of their own accord?
No.
No.
Thaddeus' horse simply is watching you.
I'm stood next to Thaddeus' horse, watching in much of the same manner as it goes.
You can so all three of you can see Tim thrashing in the water, just trying to get the boat to move.
Have you guys even lifted the anchor yet?
You can see that he's really getting into it. You can see he's going as fast as he can, and Dolphidius at the side of the boat can see the anchor is definitely still in the water, and the boat is going absolutely nowhere.
It's a good thing he doesn't know about my potion of giant strength.
God. So is Chakolth? What is Chakolth doing right now?
On this?
What am I doing? I am headed over to the Six Brothers to chat with them.
Okay. I assume there's no change in the position of the ship right now after the roll of 3. Okay. After kind of lining up, and I move slightly, kind of line up my vision to notice that against the shoreline, the ship doesn't seem to be moving at all, except for maybe a little bit. Just
surprisingly, Tim cannot pull a boat that is anchored. Correct.
Yeah. So as soon as I kind of eyeball that for maybe 5-10 seconds, I kind of see where Chakolth was walking off to, and I kind of go and follow.
Yeah. About 40 foot away, on a second pier, you can see 6 dwarves fishing.
Okay. So I follow Chakolth.
Yeah. In fact, Tim was about 20 feet of rope ahead, and he's basically at the foot of the pier where the dwarves are.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. I'm gonna approach them and say, We could really use a hand working on our new ship here.
Because we don't have the concept, really.
There's something fundamental that we're missing here that we could really use a hand with. And I think really, I mean, we've got to go all the way to Waterdeep, and 6 more swimmers is really going to get us going. So if you all could lend us your time, we'd be happy to pay you. But really, I mean, look at his form. His form is garbage. We're not going anywhere. And I think with just a little bit more, we could totally do this.
I kind of look uneasy towards him and towards the group, and I gently just say, don't worry, we have plenty of ropes.
Okay. Where's Thaddeus right now?
I'm headed over that way, having gone and checked to make sure my horse wasn't injured in the shenanigans or... What's that?
Slightly behind them as they approach, or you?
Yeah, I'm at the bottom of the pier now, coming up toward the group.
And Chakolth, you're now a half elf, right? You're not a drow anymore.
Correct. Well, I was always a half elf, but I was before of a darker skin.
So do you still look the same physically?
No, I've lightened up a little bit from this change. Okay. Still have my filed teeth though, so mostly when I smile with my mouth closed.
Would they recognize you?
Yeah.
Or do you think you're okay? So distinctively, you've just got a different tan, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So the dwarves turn to you and, oh, Master Chakolth, it's great to see you. Who's your friend? And they point at Dolphidius.
Oh.
And what's Tim doing in the water there? You want us to help swim? Are you crazy, man?
Well,
boats have sails, you know.
Well, we don't really know. That's the problem. So we've recently acquired this wonderful ship. Tim named it something, but the name...
The Agatha!
The Agatha.
Beautiful name, isn't it, Dabin? Oh, it is Babin. Fabin, look at this beautiful piece of woodman craft ship.
Yeah, don't think it's dwarven, but we've heard around town that you 6 are the greatest sailors of this entire area.
Chime in. Oh, yes, we are.
Well, we would like to hire you to teach us.
All 6 of us?
Well,
it's a lucky day, boys.
At least one of you.
Oh, and they just sort of look down, and you can see.
Well, here's the thing.
Like a pang of sadness.
Here's the thing. Let me talk to you, boys. So we have this wonderful new ship. We need to break it in. I don't know if you've sailed anything like it, or certainly not anything this size recently. We could bring you all the way down to Waterdeep and back. Have you seen the big city? Give you some time off there. That's right. And I only need to hire one. But if you all want to come along and are happy doing it at a split wage for that, we'd love to have you. And maybe we can both get something out of this.
So that you can see that they sort of reel in their fishing rods and they all sort of congregate together.
And I'll throw in just a little bit more. We won't tell Tim yet how the boat actually works. And we can get just a little bit more of this visual beauty going on down there. You guys can maybe teach me some dwarven words of encouragement that we could throw down. And we could just enjoy this for a few more minutes.
Oh, and they all sort of, you can see that they're all sort of chatting amongst themselves and they go, and then one of them comes back and goes, oh yes, I think we can do that. I think if you hire at least the one of us, the 6 of us could come with you if you want, or the 2 of us could go with you. Whatever is fine. If you've got space on your boat, that's grand.
We got space if you all want to come. Don't want to separate brothers.
Oh, that sounds grand to me, doesn't it? And you can see them all just sort of cheer, and they sort of turn to Tim and they go simultaneously, go on, lad, you can do it. Put your back into it.
I'll as. Oh yeah, he's probably
roll persuasion, please.
No, you're still pulling it, right?
Yeah, I just want to know if I'm encouraged.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Persuasion.
Okay.
No. All right. Well, no advantage on this roll then.
Okay.
How am I doing?
The boat seems to move like imperceptibly, like maybe an inch.
Well,
like we're on our way, lads.
All of you see it like
Straight ahead to Waterdeep. Let's head north.
That's the water moving the boat, or whether that was Tim. But all 6 dwarves just go, "You did it, lad!"
And I say to Tim, water is a very low friction environment. This is really about building up momentum. Even a little bit helps. There's nothing to slow it down, Tim. So just keep at it. An inch now, it'll be a mile later.
Tim is going to try a different tact. He's going to actually swim toward the prow of the boat, and he's going to latch onto it, and then he's going to kick off from it as hard as possible to try to pull it upriver.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll say to the brothers is right there.
For that.
I roll
Jim?
About conservation of momentum.
Oh! The boat goes backwards 2 inches.
I say to the brothers.
You all see Tim swim up to the boat, and with such mighty strength, he gives it a massive push, and he flings himself back to the point where he was swimming, and he starts paddling again. And and as you see him paddle, you see him sort of slowly go backwards a couple of inches.
I say to the brothers, his other plan is to water walk our horses and lash them to the front and bring them that way. So if you guys have any different suggestions now that you're on board, we'd be happy to hear them.
They look at each other very confused, and then you see Dabin at the front just sort of go, "Hoist the sail, lad! Get that bat out the water."
And does the anchor have anything to do with this?
Oh, of course. You need to lift the anchor before you hoist the sail.
Thaddeus, you think you could hoist Tim up?
Oh, my pleasure.
So I imagine, this is you said it was like 2 stories almost, this ship, right? So I imagine that the rope has been tied to the, to the prow where we tied it, and Tim's like down in the water, so he's already pulling it at an angle. I imagine Thaddeus could haul him up. I just wanted to see that visually.
Oh, you mean like from the top of the prow?
Yeah.
Thaddeus.
Usually, I imagine them actually simultaneously pulling up Tim and the anchor in parallel at the front and the back, the stern and the bow of the boat.
Perfect.
And I'm still freestyling, and I'm like, you coward, come back here, you cowardly water. You're afraid of me. I'm too strong. Get back here.
When we were talking pay, what did they ask for pay? How much?
They didn't really.
Well, okay. Well,
they're just kind of going to defer to your generosity.
What would be generous? You don't know? Okay.
No, it's I kind of have an idea, but it's up to your character.
Well, I know, but I'm trying to get a sense. Like, what would normally a day's wage?
Well, bear in mind.
Let's call it 60 gold and 10 apiece for each of them.
That's a lot.
For the round trip.
If it's not a lot, that's fine. But
that's a lot to commoners.
Yeah.
They are to you. That's nothing.
So we don't want to. No. So what do we say?
We're making friends at
like
10.
6
fees.
silver.
What?
Whatever's generous for them. I don't want to it's like this is like tipping someone like the cost of the meal. Like this doesn't make any sense for us.
Well, I figured if a posh room was 4 gold, then two nights of a posh room is not an unreasonable wage for 3 days.
To charge them 6 gold each for the stay in the boat. You're saying?
No, a gold each to sleep on the boat, and we give them 10 gold. So at the end of the trip, we give them 6 because we've charged them a gold each night. No.
I'm very confused.
Yeah, that math.
Thaddeus, I will defer to you in matters of payment of dwarves.
Really? Okay.
And payment of dwarves comes up so often that'll be useful to me.
I don't know about.
It's good for each of us to have a speciality, and found something you're good at.
We'd like to pay them. We'd like to pay them generously, very generously for 1 person, because that was the arrangement we made. I'm happy to be generous with that. They wanted to come aboard essentially for sightseeing, for the other 5, and we were happy to pay that 1 very generously. And if they want to split it, they can split it.
Okay. you get the impression that when you're speaking to them, they would have probably done it for free. So whatever you want to give them is almost a bonus to them.
Yeah, I understand. And you know.
So that's at your discretion.
Okay. So like 10 gold.
I think we should give him a gold and then a gold for being friendly. Just explain it to him that way.
I would make it 12 so it splits easy.
Sold. 12.
These are gonna be some rich dwarves. They're gonna be walking around.
That's fine. I'm all for it. 12.
Yeah.
You want to take that out of
Next
our...
time we see them, they better have like some finer clothes on or something like that.
Dolphin, you want to take that out of our bank?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we are merrily making our way down this river to Waterdeep.
Okay.
Learning shipmanship.
That's right.
Okay. 2 seconds.
Okay. First, we learn what these sails are. These giant bed sheets we lash to the mast, to the pointy bit, the vertical pointy bit, not the horizontal pointy bit.
Wait a minute. Those weren't hammocks. I feel foolish.
Okay.
All right.
So you guys give them 12 gold,
Okay.
which they happily take. Babin, Dabbin, Fabbin, Labbin, Sabbin, and Gabbin all move onto the boat with you, and you guys begin sailing to Waterdeep, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are we? We're here. So I guess we're gonna go.
From time to time, we throw in Tim to get a little bit extra oomph, and then reel him up again.
So what's that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexes gets you to the shore. And then are you gonna? Where's the shore? Oh, it ends here. So that's what, like 2 seconds. I'm trying to work out how long it's gonna take you.
Sure.
That's 2. So that's like 5 more miles added on. Okay.
You're muted, Kevin, if you're saying anything. I love reading your lips when you're safe. Oh, for fuck's sake. That's very enjoyable. I'm gonna learn how to read lips only off of your muted webcam or muted mic rather. It's gonna be great.
You know, and there's so much I say that's all my brilliant pieces. So isn't there a nice lake about halfway down?
Like,
It's probably a waterfall.
It's a big difference, by the way. We should sort that out.
We're learning to sail.
I need to figure out how many people. Well, hold on. There's 4 and then 6 door. I can cast on 10 willing creatures.
Perfect.
That doesn't include the horses. I want to point that out.
Well,
so
I'm pretty sure these are just one unit, these 6 dwarfs, so just get one of them. It counts.
just stack them. Just cast water walking on one.
Yeah.
Actually, water walking on one of each of us, and then we can just
Human pyramid, right, exactly.
There you go. Yeah.
On the
Okay.
bottom layer, and we just, get those acrobatics rolls for real.
Yeah. There you go.
okay. Right. So let's see. You guys
The other brilliant thing I said is that I like traveling by water because there aren't very many ambushes.
Well,
Aren't
the
there?
ambushes are nastier. It's things like krakens and shit like that, right?
The flying things.
So you guys are going 7 hexes, which
Okay.
are 4 miles each at 16 miles an hour.
Okay.
So that's.
You said 7-4, so we're doing 28. We're
So
doing
it's-
16 miles an hour?
I guess we'll say
No.
you guys go all the way down and up, and that's going to take you what? 7 hexes is 4. So it's 4, 8, 12, 16, 4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah, I'd say it'd take you about 3 hours.
To get to Waterdeep?
Yep.
I thought we looked at this earlier on the
Yeah,
big
full
map.
Are you sure that's not golden fields, Adam? It seems
1, 2, 3.
we have to go onto
4,
the world
5,
map.
6, 7. Well, 7 hexes, from what I can see, gets you to the coast, maybe, or is that?
We did
slightly
this.
off
We
again?
already did this. It
Oh,
was
it
20.
just gets us
It was
to
20.
the bottom of that map.
It was 25 hours.
Actually, yeah, no, I think
No,
you're right.
Kevin,
because
or not Kevin, sorry.
The cutoff is here.
Adam, when we looked at it on the world map at the beginning of the recording, you said it would be 25 hours to
Okay.
get to
So then,
Waterdeep.
so at 60 miles per hour, if you guys want to work that out 1 second, I'm just going to go grab a glass of water.
Sure. 16 times, what did he say? Oh, no, that's 400 miles. So it's 400 miles. Wasn't it? Fucking hell. All right, we gotta look at this shit. Why can't we not do simple distances right now?
There's the meter thing that shows how far it is.
Deal.
It says that it's 150 miles.
Is that one way?
I think. 1 foot is 10 miles on this map, apparently. So it is
165 miles.
It's about 200 miles because there are bends, I'd say. So 200 miles one way.
Okay, so 200 miles and we're going 16 miles per hour. That's fairly easy to do. That's just simple math. So it's going to take us 12 and a half hours to get there. So it's a 25-hour round trip.
It's a 25-hour round trip.
Okay. So a day and a bit. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, I assume that we can't realistically run it 24 hours. So probably, it's probably like, I mean, it's 12 hours to get there. We could have a very long day there. We'd have some like standard break thing where we stay in Waterdeep for the night and then a 12-hour trip back style thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so just repeat that for me.
Sure.
So it's what? It's a 12-hour.
It's a
12 hour to get there.
If we go 16 miles per hour the entire way, it's 12 and a half miles.
Yep.
Or 12 and a half hours that way.
And then you spend, what, a day there?
Well, we don't want to spend it. We want to spend as little time as we can, but we want to at least spend the night, rest, etc., and then get back on and go the other way. And I don't know if it's more to go upstream. I assume it's slower to go upstream.
We'll say maybe 16 hours back.
Sounds good. Okay.
And can we run the ship at night?
Time there. Well, so the only restriction on running the ship is that you need to have someone on the wheel.
Sure.
We
are probably bigger than everybody else. It's really up to them to get out of the way.
Well, not only do you have 6 extra dwarves now, you have there's 10 of you in total. So you can, in theory, rotate the people to do that. So
I think the only problem is we get to Waterdeep at night and we'll have to talk to people in the morning when they're opening their stalls and stuff.
That's fine.
Presumably everything will be shut down.
Sure.
We'll spend the night at Waterdeep and then be back to barge right in tomorrow night.
Okay.
Ish.
River travel is great. Everything's real close around here.
We were on. Yeah, so you're gonna. Yeah, excuse me. You're gonna get to Waterdeep at midnight on day 5.
Well, let's get even a little bit later, maybe like 1 or 2. Get a little bit slower for a little bit of teaching as this is happening, right?
Sure.
Like, they probably can't run it at max velocity quite yet.
So we say 2 a.m.
You gotta factor in Tim's speed bonus, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. 3 a.m.
Yeah, it's a ship +1 right now.
Yeah.
Literally. Well, because you're sailing in front of it, or
Steve, did you know there's an item that's a pocket ship that shrinks down to something you can fit on your person?
Yeah, it's a folding ship.
Yeah, I want one of those later. But anyways.
All we need is there such a thing as a pocket horse?
No.
Okay.
Well,
we don't have the technology.
Kevin essentially has that.
Yeah.
Here you go. The technology's there.
Only divine technology, though.
All right, so you guys arrive at Waterdeep at 2 a.m.
Perfect. So we find whatever place will take us at this hour to sleep.
Okay, so you arrive here in the dock ward.
All right. We're just looking for. We don't need the nicest place. We just don't want to be. We want somewhere safe, somewhere we can sleep.
Sure.
Okay.
Waterdeep, also known as the City of Splendors or the Crown of the North, was the most important and influential city in the north, and perhaps in all of Faerun. For this reason, it's been considered part of the western heartlands of the realm. It has been named for its outstanding natural deep water harbour, and the city that grew up at this site became the commercial crossroads of the northern realms. More than 100,000 people make their home in Waterdeep, and the city is sprawled northward from the sea.
Whichever dwarf brother told me this, I throw off the side.
No, this is just like stuff that you just all know, because Waterdeep is so, you know.
Why would you throw him off the side for that? For being a know-it-all, or?
You decided to throw him off anyways, even though nothing was said.
If anyone wants to know.
Oh, you're here to help. That's great. Grab the rope.
All right, so we've arrived in Waterdeep. I say to the rest of the group, as much as I would love to explore this fantastic city, we have pressing matters to attend to. Perhaps we just do our damnness to take care of business and get out of here.
Watch your foul tongue.
I look around just to kind of take in the city, and one of my first thoughts is to see if I can see two different animals anywhere around me. But all I'm able to see is two rats, and the idea of flowing through my head of a rat just fighting a rat isn't very exciting.
There are two rats there?
I mean, I imagine it's it's potentially. The idea is I can't find any interesting animals to fight each other.
Dolphin, please.
Yes.
Dolphin, Dolphidius, please. This is our chance to settle
Thaddeus,
our bet.
I think we have work to do.
Hold my hands if you would, and give into my being your permission to resolve this struggle.
Yeah, we should probably go find something to do besides.
I'm definitely not watching this. You two, you
two
will stay with the ship.
I agree. I'm like this will have to wait, and it's because I'm gonna say it's late, and I'm gonna turn away from him as he has his arm.
Why the fuck would we rent a tavern? Why would we even bother? Why don't we just stay on the ship for the night?
Yeah, stay on the ship.
Stay on the ship. We'll sleep on the ship.
Okay.
Two birds with one.
He turned away from me.
Yes, in the interest of getting rest, because it's 2 a.m.
Where are the rats?
You can see them kind
Tim
of
is hyper focused,
running around the crates and the barrels that are in the dock.
Well,
Running
Dolphidius is turned away from me. I'm going to attempt to polymorph him into a rabbit.
Can you make a wisdom saving throw, Dolphin?
Yeah, I can do that.
Are you within 10
DC
feet of Thaddeus?
15.
It's a wisdom saving roll.
Yeah.
Wisdom saving
Okay.
throw, and you're probably within range of Thaddeus. He's
I
probably
feel
plus
like
one.
Chakolth and Thaddeus are on the boat, and Tim and Dolphin are out on the pier, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Having
If we're not
but-
range, we're not
No, yeah, that's fine. We can be.
Okay.
I pretend nothing happened.
Do what I have
Dolphidius,
noticed.
you see Tim kind of begin chanting and saying this strange, magical spell, and he kind of flings his hands towards you, and you sort of just go, and nothing happens, and you're like, "What are you doing?"
So I notice. So I turn back towards him, and again it's 2 a.m. So I'm a little tired. I'm just kind of like, so Tim, what was that?
I was trying to turn you into a rabbit so we could find this out for once and for all.
I said,
For some reason, you refused to let me.
I sit
If we're
there.
going to trust each other ever, you're going to have to rethink your interpersonal relationship skills.
I take what he says to heart. I hear his words, and I say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If I can make it up to you anyway, we can try this tomorrow after a good night's sleep.
Yes, I can try this once per day, so give it another go tomorrow.
All right.
Oh, have you got your first level 4?
Yeah. He's got this
Level
first
7.
level 4.
And you've wasted.
Yes, that was my first level
trying
forecast.
to pull him off.
All right.
If you would ask permission first, if you had just told me what you wanted to do.
What's the first thing I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try and polymorph my party member
into a rabbit.
so that
That
he can
was-
have a grudge match with a rat.
That was Fifth Element, never without my permission, right there. Did you learn anything, Steve? He's got.
I can't hear you.
Right.
Right. All right. So sleep.
So after that debacle, everyone goes to sleep.
Okay.
Then it is
We'll set watches. I
don't-
guess
yeah,
probably Steve's
I mean-
so worked up after that he probably needs first watch.
No, I'm always first watch.
Oh, okay.
You're essentially in a safe haven now.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily need to do that because Waterdeep is so safe and there are guards and everything like that. But if you guys still want to do that, that's entirely up to you.
You call this cesspool safe?
You can't talk directly to the DM. You may exclaim that in your own.
All right. So we're here. No one's checked us. So the morning of, we wake up.
Essentially sailed in,
Sure.
which is fine because it's a massive dock. There's like loads of boats here. No one's gonna come up and inspect your boat.
Really? Don't they have like whole peoples whose job it is to inspect incoming stuff to cities?
Someone might come up and say, what are you guys here for? And you say, we're just gonna dock up and rest, and it's kind of like very mundane. And then when you get up in the morning, you might have to actually go and speak to someone and say, look, this is why we're here, kind of thing.
Okay. So the morning of.
So that was
something happens in the night. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. You guys rest.
So hypothetically, Tim gets back his polymorph spell.
Hypothetically.
No, not hypothetically. He does.
Good.
All right. Well, do you guys want some alone time while Thaddeus and I go do what we need to do here?
So, well, we have what are the jobs we're trying to get done? You want to do research.
Yep.
We want to set up a shipment to...
I'd really like to bring Tim with me, too, for the research, in case there's, I could use his expertise. I say while thinking about the fact he just tried to polymorph fucking Dolphidius. I assume he maybe could be useful.
I'm going to cast Comprehend Languages on Chakolth.
Don't need to... Well, it's only an hour.
That will last for 1 hour, and I'm going to tell him, get out of here and do your research quick. That'll give you an hour. Dolphidius and I have a score to settle.
So,
and while he says that, I'm seen over in the other side of the inn's room, hopping a little bit and simultaneously doing a chomping motion with my just kind of like that, as if to practice certain maneuvers that I might need to do at a future date.
Oh, okay.
So we're trying.
I would actually like to come with you, Jack.
Am I still muted? For
No.
fuck's sake.
You're just being ignored.
I'll go with Chakolth. That's fine. That's fine.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So we need to get another polymorph so that we can fight each other as the rat and the rabbit.
The multiple tasks, Kevin, are we need to find and negotiate a shipment for the tavern. I want to research these symbols while we're here. One of us needs to run by wherever their magic vendors, the items, wherever their fine craftsmanship who imbue their work with magic is, and pick up our list of things as well as exchange the items we're getting rid of. And we'd love to find somewhere to sell the items in the hold of our boat while we're here as well.
Okay, so we're gonna just chop that last little bit immediately and just say you can buy and sell whatever you want at what we've already agreed. So Filthy messaged me about stuff you already own. What happens with that? We sell it at half price. You guys buy everything already at full price.
Yeah, and we're gonna treat
that just kind of happens while you're in Waterdeep.
Good.
I'm not gonna sometimes we could
Adam,
say...
you said specifically that we would need to do something about the cargo, the stuff that we had as cargo. Is that just we're not going to do something specifically about that? I have no desire to.
That's okay now because you've specifically put it on a boat.
Got it.
Specifically brought it somewhere big, so now you can just deal with it freely. It's fine. I didn't actually think you guys would come somewhere like this, which is fine. So all you've done here is sacrifice time, which is great. So you've got all the items. So.
Dolphin,
are you buying a rapier +1 because you don't necessarily need to do that now because Steve has got a rapier +1 that's no longer cursed?
Oh, it removes the curse from it. I just assumed it allowed him to remove it.
Yeah, so the rapier is still a +1 rapier. Now it's just a +1 rapier. It's not a +1 rapier. That means you have to attack people otherwise.
Is that how that works, Adam? I just assumed it was like bonded to him until a remove curse spell let him actually take it away from him. I thought the blade would still be cursed. Does that actually fix the blade?
No, it fixes the item. Yeah.
Oh,
because
wow. Okay.
It doesn't remove the curse from the item. It removes the curse from the person. The person can no longer be cursed, I think is how I would interpret it. But maybe it removes it from the item as well, I suppose.
So if someone picked it up, they would still be cursed by it. But as long as he's wielding it, it has no ability to control him.
Yeah, because he is like purified of its magic. At least I think that's how.
That's an interesting. Yeah.
Either he's purified of it, or the whole blade is. So either way, it doesn't matter to you. Like, it's one or the other. That's how I'd see it.
Okay.
Well, let us know if it's wrong.
Oh, well,
so
it has interesting implications if we're captured and some other fool picks it up and says, "Hey, this is a pretty blade."
Yeah.
Okay, well that gives us $1,240 back then, because we'll sell what's in the hold that was $480. It sells for $240, and then we get another grand from the rapier, not having to rebuy a rapier. That's pretty fucking good. So we're actually, what are we actually at, Dolphin, right now?
Pretty close to 2.
Yeah, so that would be 1740.
Well, you just gained
1740.
1740. Okay.
28 for the dwarf gold.
You gained 500s, and you gained.
Yeah, I have it all written down. I don't have actually edit access to the
okay.
spreadsheet, but I have it written down. I just don't have the total. It's around. It's like 1736 is the exact amount.
Okay. All right. Well,
what is it you're looking to?
Sorry, 1744. Again, when I put it in the spreadsheet, it'll be there.
Okay, we can just retro buy something between sessions. We don't have to do this now.
Yeah. This is like basically now that you've come to Waterdeep, there's a lot more things you can do.
Yeah, we should tell the viewers
between sessions a little bit.
What we're gonna do for this is uncommons are available for purchase. We're using like a homebrewed thing. It's not our homebrew. It's another homebrew out there called Sane Item Prices for that. And
that's a good idea.
Yeah. So, anyways, okay. So let's do the rest of what we're in town for then. We could do this simultaneously. Tim and I will go to any large center of learning, university, library, something like that, while we're here, and then Thaddeus and Dolphidius can go negotiate with the merchant. Okay. Let's do that.
Who wants to go first?
Let's. I think ours will be quick, so let's go first.
Sure. What are you trying to research? What are you trying to find out?
Okay,
What's
I want
the goal here?
I want to go somewhere where they I want to take the symbols of all 4 cults, and I want any information they might have about these cults, specifically how they're associated, what their goals are, what entities might be backing them, be they magical or divine, and what resources these cults might have at their beck and call. So what we might be facing. Go on.
And also lore about the Somber Hills, as aside from the cults, if it is known to be a thin spot in the elemental planes, or if it's known to be
or something like that.
A place of power or something,
yep.
It could be that we both need to know who's coming to capitalize on that, and also secondarily, it is a special region of some sort.
Yep, that's the type of information I would like. And I may or may not, it's up to you whether or not I can find something, but I will know where to look for it if there is something to be found. That just might not be something to be found, but that's what I would like to do.
Okay. And Dolphin and Kevin are trying to do the trade part. Okay, so we'll do this bit first. How do we do this then? I guess with Tim with you, he can roll investigation, but what could you roll? What do you think your character can use that they're proficient in to get this information? Apart from the fact that they're already a researcher tells them where to go. What are you going to use to find that information now that you're there?
I would say that given your character type, you would probably look for a wise person, a sage.
Literally just about to say that, right? Which is that, this is why I'm seeking this place where there's someone who staffs the library, presumably. I mean, the way these would work.
Persuade them to give you the information, or are you going to incite them, or what is it you want to do?
Depends what type
I'm
of
going to let
library
you. I'm going to let you play to your strengths here.
Okay, then
you can
then of course I would like to either buy or talk my way into access to these, and then have them assist me in doing this research.
So we'll say that Chakolth goes in with Tim and tries to persuade the librarian or the owner of the place you're in to help them find information. We'll do that roll first, and then Steve's character will then use investigation alongside the person giving you information to see how in-depth that information is.
Sounds good. Can I just get a little bit of information about the place we're ending up at? Like, particularly the guy who's helping me. Is he a mage? Is he just a librarian? Is he a book vendor? Like, what is he? Where am I? What am I doing?
So, let's see.
Seems like go to the College of Arcanus or something and look for.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know where to go from the research element of that. So wherever I go, Adam's going to tell us. But I want to know specifically who I'm interacting with, because I don't want to cast magic on a mage.
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, that makes sense. Essentially, you end up in one of the guilds of Waterdeep. Waterdeep is very prominent in terms of it has there's a lot of different powerful guilds. So there's like merchant guilds, there are mage guilds, there are I'm trying to think of the right word for it. What an informational guild would be. So maybe like a gossiping sage, kind of wise librarian, arcanery type of guild. So they're not necessarily mages, but they're like people that may have knowledge of magic, and they've done a lot of research on that. So you kind of end up here. You can see that the person or the magister that's ruling this building is. You could detect there's some air of magic to him, but you know what that is, you can't quite discern. He's happy to help you sort of look around a little bit if you want to roll a persuasion to see how far that gets you.
Sure, I would love to roll a persuasion. I'd love to roll it better than a fucking 10.
Sure. So he kind of he gives you a very vague sort of direction of you kind of want to maybe try this section of the library, and rather than like a specific book or a specific author, so you don't get quite the narrow field that you might be looking for, but you get an area to look into. And then Tim will begin investigating that area, maybe to help you find the right thing to read from there.
All right.
And in a couple of minutes, Tim is dashing around. He's not quite hasted, but you see that he's moving at some speed to sort of say, "Oh, yes, books. Oh, I like books."
It's much easier to move books around than boats.
Indeed. So you kind of describe to Tim the things you're trying to find, and he's like, "Oh, it's over here. Yes, this looks like the row of cultists. Absolutely." And he sort of directs you down that way.
He hollers that in the library, does he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Of course.
Tim's like, he doesn't care. What? Give me what is it you're specifically trying to find? Because there's a lot of stuff here I could read to you, but
there's a lot of things that I want to know. One of the things I want to know is it's not the origins of these cults, but it's kind of how these cults are related. I want to know what these cults are trying to do. I want to know why they would be in the Somber Hills, be that either some aspect of that cult or some aspect of the Somber Hills. And I want to figure out if there's anything they have protecting or aiding them, gods, goddesses, entities from different planes, etc. And then I want to know how not to be fucking scryed on by these bastards.
Okay.
Anything that we can find aiding in any of that would be extremely helpful. And if there's nothing there, okay.
Yeah. One of the things you just said was, whatever god or whatever their higher power is. Yeah. That was on the list you just said, wasn't it? Okay. Yes, it was. I thought I heard you say that.
Okay. So you guys spend how long? Give me a time frame of how long you'll spend here with those rolls.
How long? What time does the place?
Well, you guys are getting here. What was it? You're arriving at 2 a.m. So again, I guess you rest, and it's what?
Yeah, we had a sleep and
so then morning, it's 10 a.m. So you've got the whole day ahead of you.
Yeah, fine with that.
Time. So how long do you want to spend here?
As much as the
we can read all day.
Yeah.
All day?
Sure.
So
as long as it takes to get the relevant information using the 80-20 rule, right?
Okay.
We want to get back on the water before nightfall.
All right.
But other than that, we don't care.
Buy your sleight of hand gloves yet?
No, that's what we're doing here.
Well, you're doing that.
Are you sure you didn't buy them yet?
Yeah.
Maybe we could go out for lunch and buy them.
Sleight of hand doesn't really affect this research.
Well, he wants to steal the book.
It might affect.
He wants to steal knowledge.
The relevant books. If we can't read them.
Well, if you want to do that before, I'm happy to.
It's a library. We'll just take it out, right?
All right, guys. I do have just one thing though. I don't want to stop this here, but I think we need to cut the part here. So let's do that, and then we'll hopefully do a short one for the last part. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.